Steve Evans, first of all, looking back at last night, we saw Grimsby winning away at Southampton. So League Two side winning away at Premier League. You know quite a lot about that and what a result that was.
Yes, it's fantastic, isn't it? I think it's the first time they've been the last eight for 80 odd years, I think it is, from what they were saying on the radio this morning. But congratulations to Paul Hurst. I've already sent my message. So congratulations to Hursty and the chairman, the fans, the players, more importantly, the players that have achieved something that will be a lifetime memory for them. So congratulations, guys, and I'm sure you'll do League Two and the EFL proud when you go down to play the Seagulls in the next round, and good luck.
And just looking back on the win on Tuesday night, we knew it was always going to be a tough February, but we're now in March, still second in the league with 14 games to play. Happy?
Yeah, listen, I never hid it from the owner, from Phil Wallace, from the board to everyone down that, when we come out of Rochdale on the 4th of March, it's been I think impacted by the 4 FA Cup games away and the Papa John's largely away. It just seems we're always travelling, always tough games. So we're delighted to get the win against Wimbledon because it turned that sequence. And as much as we can say we should, and backed up by the head of referees, we should have 2 penalties at the weekend against Tranmere. We should have penalty against Bradford. We should have not won against us and against Stoke, and some horrendous decisions against us. I think you can see the difference it makes. We lost 2-0 at Stockport. No complaints about losing 2-0 at Stockport. Bobby Madden is, for me, is an outstanding referee. I didn't know him before, who's come down from Scotland. And the other night, when we get our referee fixtures confirmed, and I seen Jeremy Simpson, I'm thinking, he doesn't give nothing for me, but he doesn't give things against us. He's just down the middle. And myself and Johnny Jackson, the Wimbledon boss, we said the other night afterwards, wasn't it a game that could have gone either way? We don't hide that, could have gone either way. But none of us are looking back at decisions, either side, and thinking that was harsh. So, and that's how we can hope when we go to Rochdale.
Did Tuesday feel like a turning point in the season, or was it, as you said, they're just back on the train of normal service?
Yeah, we're back on the treadmill, aren't we? We're on the bike. I think it's, we know what should have happened last weekend. We know we should win the game. We know why we don't win the game. We didn't do enough overall, but we just didn't have the fairness applied around us, and that's always makes it harder. So it's been a difficult one to comprehend, but I've always said about these guys in here, we're the one team in the EFL that's still outperforming. If you'd have wrote every team down in the summer who can compete for the playoffs across every division of the EFL, we were not mentioned, were we? 60-61, not mentioned. And we're still there. So we're like entry. We're coming round for the third time round the course, and we're thinking, we're still here. We're still standing up. We've still got a bit of energy in the tank here with a horse, and that's what it's like. So we know how tough it's going to be with Jim Bentley at Rochdale on Saturday. But what did Tuesday feel like? Relief, because you get back to winning. You see what it meant to the players, see what it meant to our supporters, and we could eventually miss promotion here, whether it's automatic or playoffs you could miss, and it'll be a lot of regrets. But that's reality of what could happen. The other reality, of course, of what could happen is we could be promoted, and we know what we have to do to win promotion, which is win a lot of football matches, and that's, as everyone found again on Tuesday, and everyone found last Saturday, that's really tough. Other than the runaway champions elect Leyton Orient, I think everyone else is fighting tooth and nail for points.
And you said before that we don't get too low when we lose, don't get too high when we win. After Tuesday night, it's, yes, you enjoy it, but then it's heads down and concentrate again.
Well, you can see that we enjoy it in front of the fans because we always do. We always applaud them whether we win, lose or draw. That never changes. But we went in the dressing room, there was no big speeches. It was a bit, boys, we needed to win. Let's get on the coach in half an hour. Let's get away, let's get freshened up, and let's prepare for Rochdale. So you've walked in the building this morning, Alf. There's been no difference in the building this week to last week to Monday. It's business as usual. We come in and we're polite and respectful of each other and good morning, and we know the difficult runs we've got. Again, this is really tough for us. We go up to Rochdale and then we come back down the road, and we've got Walsall on Saturday week. What Joe Flinney's doing at Walsall, and we have crew coming who are fighting for their life. So it's really tough. But I'll tell you what, we're enjoying it, aren't we? If you're a Stevenage fan, contacted my daughter. I think they're friendly on social media anyway, but contact her on the way back from Wimbledon and saying he never thought he'd see the day where he's late in February, his team's challenging for automatic promotion out of League Two into League One. And this is a boy that's, or a man, it's not a boy, a man who's watched Stevenage for the best part of 15, 20 years and has been there the last 3 or 4 seasons when it's been pretty, can I say that? It's been pretty poor. But we're fighting tooth and nail, and that's led by our leader. We have standards here, and they're applied by Phil Wallace. And on the football side, they come to me. On the operational side, they go to Mike. And so when they come to me at this level, myself and Leon, we have to make sure our standards are applied. And what's happened in recent weeks, we've not won games, but our standards have applied. We've run to the end. We've seen that at Stockport. We got 8 men up front trying to get a goal, but we lost 2-0 and no complaints. And we seen against Tranmere, we concede a penalty, which is a penalty. We don't give it our 2 penalties, but we still laid say to the goal. So we're going to fight tooth and nail. We've got 14 games to go, and 14 massive games for this football club. 14 games for every individual in the dressing room, including the staff. So, but we're going to give it our best.
And Rochdale are down there fighting for their lives. You know Jim Bentley quite well. What kind of test are you expecting this evening?
Really tough. You know, when you break down the squad, the first and foremost, they've got good players, and I think they've got a really good manager in Jim Bentley. I went and watched them at first hand when they recently played Stockport. They lost. Stockport were good against us on the Saturday and were good against Rochdale on the Tuesday. Rochdale struck the woodwork a couple of times, and it wouldn't have been a surprise to anyone in the stadium had that finished a draw, or in fact had Rochdale gone in front. It might even been a totally different result. But it'll be a tough gig for us. But you know, we'll go there. We've got a plan to start working today on Rochdale, because up until today we couldn't. But we'll start planning for how we're going to play and who will play, and we'll implement that. And you know, if we've added to our points tally, points are really tough to come in this league. Away wins are harder to achieve for anyone, and a win away from home, let's see if we can back that up. And if we back it up, I don't think there's anyone around League Two that wouldn't suddenly say Stevenage Borough back on the bike. You know, whereas at the minute, probably we're thinking that, but we need another win, and then we'll look forward to Walsall.
And you're still using every option you've got available in your squad. We saw Luther came back for for just over a half on Tuesday night, and you're using that shape, using your substitutions.
Yeah,
affecting the game.
Yeah, Luther was probably one of our better players, or he was one of our better players in that first period. But we always knew that. I think the benchmark from the staff and medical staff combined with the coaching staff was to say 70 minutes for Luther at Wimbledon. But I think, you know, he was strong up in the half time. But as we've always found with players coming back from injury, or players that's not been played for a few weeks, that half time whistle comes at the wrong time for him, because they get the muscles, go a bit colder and the nose warm, the blood's not pumping to get out and get going again. Second half is what they find. But Luther trained today, there's no issues. Kane Smith came out of the team because he had been in a starting team in the league for, I think, 2.5 to 3 months, but coming in and had back-to-back games. Kane Smith did reasonably well, if not well. But we just looked at him Monday. He'll be training properly today. He'll be chomping at the bit today. So, but you know, we've got a very focused squad. I'm very proud of the lads what they're achieving, but we need to keep achieving. And I think someone wrote the other day in the newspaper that Stevenage are the overachieving club in the EFL. We need to continue to overachieve because the competition is fierce.
And Alex Gilby at right wing back, what a revelation that was second half. What an inspired tactical change that was.
Well, I've seen Gilbs play there. I've seen him play there in the Championship, believe it or not. And not lots and lots of times, but I've seen him be very effective, and I've seen him get deployed there in his time at Charlton. Is again not as a starting position, but they've moved people around to put him there. He's got fantastic ability. He's got the heart the size of Big Ben. He's quick. He's very fit, and it was a choice to say, right, let's be more creative in those areas of the pitch. And Gilbs makes 2 of the goals.
Just words on the injured players. Is TVC any closer to being back, and Luther will be involved again, I assume?
Yeah, Luther will be available for selection Saturday unless there's any mishap, but he'll be available, we'd assume. And TVC he's probably 60-40 to be fit for Rochdale. TVC's incredibly fit. There's not a player that would come back, you go and need 70 minutes, TVC can just play. It's like Boswick, they can just play. It's different metabolisms of different players. If TVC's not fit, he'll play them a midweek closed door game next week, and then he'll be certainly ready for Walsall, but we're hoping he's on the coach tomorrow.
And just on those longer term ones, we saw Tay was at the Lamex on Saturday, he had a brace on, but I spoke to him and he said it was not long till it came off, and Listy's been on the grass for a while now as well, so they're
I think
making good progress.
Yeah, I think Tay's on the grass from Monday, Tuesday, he's back on the grass. So Tay over 2 or 3 weeks make very quick recovery. And Elliot's on the grass. It's just a bit now whether we get to the stage in mid to end of March, whether we say we take that element of chance with Elliot, or we let him wait and go through a whole pre-season programme, which would be good for the kid. But let's see where we are, let's see what we need, let's see what we've achieved, because everything that we achieve here is completely measurable, but we have only one thought in our mind: Rochdale, 3 o'clock, Scotland Saturday, and we need to be coming down the road saying, where's the league table now looking now? Because I've said when we leave Rochdale on the 4th of March, so they can all look back at the little notepads, the journalists, they can all look at the newspaper clips, they can all look at this footage and say, Gaffer told us in November, this February period was really tough for the travelling, really tough. And you know what now, we're really fresh. The boys know that we come out of Rochdale down slope.
That's great, thank you, Gaffer.